for UU Catskills. Our minister is the Reverend Bob Janis-Dillon, who is here with us this Sunday. There he is. We welcome friends, guests, and members for our online service. Whoever you are, whomever you are, wherever you are in your life's journey, you are welcome here. At UU Catskills, we are a welcoming congregation for the LGBTQ community. We affirm that Black Lives Matter. We are a congregational affiliate of the Ulster Immigrant Defense Network, and we are active voices in the effort to address climate change. Unitarian Universalism is a liberal religious faith that carries no creed and welcomes all seekers. We are guided by 7 principles and 6 sources that encompass the many ways that we come to know and understand the world, the universe, and the divine. If you are new, we encourage you to visit our website at uucatskills.org. If you would like to be added to our mailing list, please give us your email in the chat box or online at uucatskills.org. I remind those of you joining us online to remain muted. I have a few announcements. Be sure to read our latest newsletter for the upcoming activities at UU Catskills. Some of the following information is available in the most recent weekly update. Today, immediately after the service, you are invited to our pop-up market here at our congregational home. I don't know if you folks here can see it set up over there. Our market will feature eclectic cards, with each one being a unique treasure. And we also have hand-knit mittens, hats, and socks to help you ward off chills. All profits will benefit our own UU Catskills. You may pay with check or cash, but we do not take Bitcoin, people. Also today, we will have our young adults meetup group that will meet at 12 noon in the farmhouse. Our Sunday grief support group is at 7 p.m. via Zoom. Contact Leela Clark for more information. This Tuesday, November 23rd, the Women's Conversation Circle will meet from 7:30 to 9 p.m. See the newsletter for the Zoom link. On Tuesday, November 30th, join our newly formed Social Justice Committee at a virtual movie event. The film, The Condor and the Eagle, will be shown via Zoom with a discussion to follow. See the weekly update for more information and the link. On Thursday, we will have bedtime story and more at 7 p.m. via Zoom. It's a peaceful, joyful time of connection. Children and youth of all ages are welcome. The Zoom link is also available in the weekly update. After the service today, we invite those of you joining us online to participate in one of the breakout rooms where we meet to have virtual coffee and socialize. Visitors are welcome. For those of you who are here in person, join us at the pop-up market and for in-person gathering after the service. So, welcome to UU Catskills. Let us join together in creating a sacred space for our worship together.
You have blessed me with a meteor Good morning. We begin our service by lighting our chalice, a symbol of the light of truth and hope and justice and love. And I would like to invite Bill Griffith to light our chalice. Bill was born at 1021, an undisclosed number of years ago, and it's his birthday today, so we celebrate. 10:21 a.m. So. I invite us to read together the words and the order of service. We light this chalice in grateful, loving community. Even in the darkest of times, may its flame light paths to courage, justice, and hope. And if you wish, I invite you to join together in the unison affirmation. May we be reminded here of our highest aspirations and inspired to bring our gifts of love to all living beings. May we know once again that we are not isolated, but connected in wonder and joy to mystery and miracle in the universe, in this community, and in each other. How long, cries the heart, thirsty for gratitude? How long, cries the mind, aflame after the nightly news? How long will hatred and complacency trample the rights of the poor? How long will justice be absent from the land? How long will wrongdoing savage the path of fairness and kindness? The heart cries out. And still, we resolve our hearts to gratitude. Not to look away from what is. Not to look away from what is so very far from right and just in our world, but to look truly, deeply into it. To gaze upon this blessed, beautiful blue-green globe. To feel truly the treasure of our own collective breath. And to resolve ourselves that this life and one another are deeply, deeply important. And life and love and justice and the living hope that has got us this far are to be praised. Again, everyone, good morning. Thank you very much for joining us. It is always a wonderful occasion to be together in meaning making and seeking. We're on the cusp of Thanksgiving. So this is gratitude is one of the themes of today, giving bread and giving thanks. Gratitude in sometimes can be difficult times for gratitude in many ways and for many people. We're grateful to be able to be together in these two forms. I welcome you if you're joining from the wider Kingston community or indeed across the globe, or even if you're watching this a year from now, you're part of this occasion through the miracle of technology, and we're glad to have you here. Welcome to everyone here. As you may have read, we have decided to welcome news that we won't turn people away. We were trying to limit numbers, and as you can see, we've distanced the chairs, and so we've upped the numbers slightly. I do want to sound a note of caution. We do know that cases are rising, both in Ulster County and nationally. So let's take care of one another. Let's be careful. We are going to sing masked today and just take the precautions we need to take. We're going in the right direction, and we want to keep, with vaccinations and everything, we want to just keep each other safe. So we'll try and do that. Yeah, the movie night is a new thing on the 30th of The Condor and the Eagle, so there'll be more announcements about that. That's going to be an exciting opportunity. You can watch the movie from home, and then we'll have a discussion together, so all are welcome to join for that. So with that, let us sing together a song of gratitude. It's number 67. We sing now together. So we have a heart story, which is more of a participatory exercise. You can pass on any one of these. You don't have to participate. But would anyone like to look inside our wonder box? We have a box which is a symbol of the wonder that we live with all the time, and we wonder what's in the box today. A leaf. Have you seen any leaves around? There's quite a lot of leaves. That's it. And one of the things, you can gather leaves. In fact, it can be quite challenging to gather leaves. And this is a spiritual exercise. Let's take this. That I learned, and I don't know who originated it. I'm afraid I would give credit where credit's due, but I think it's gone through so many different iterations. But it's a very simple sort of counting our blessings exercise. And I do think counting our blessings can be a really good thing to do and put us in that state of gratitude. So what it is you simply sort of imagine you're gathering leaves. It's sometimes called gathering the harvest. And you can stay sitting, or you can stand up if you prefer, if you'd like to do it more stand yoga pose or whatever. But it's one simple motion, I don't know if you can see me, of gathering and then lifting up. And with everyone, you can say, or I can say, if you'd like to, for, and then you name the thing, and then you say, we give thanks. So does anybody have anything they're grateful for today? Anybody call it?
Coming here in person.
Coming here in person, okay.
Yes.
For being, for the opportunity to be here, we give thanks. What else are we grateful for today?
Family.
For family. For family. We give thanks.
Friends.
For friends. We give thanks.
For help.
For health. We give thanks.
For healing.
For healing. We give thanks.
For leaders of goodwill.
For leaders of goodwill. We give thanks. Do a couple more. For what?
Sunshine.
Sunshine, thank you. For sunshine. Yes, indeed. For sunshine, we give thanks. Are there any on the chat in the, for love? For love.
For our pets.
We give thanks.
For our children and grandchildren.
So for our children and grandchildren, we give thanks. For pets, we give thanks.
For the gift of compassion.
For the gift of compassion, we give thanks. And I know we could go on for a while, and sometimes it's interesting to do this if you want to do it on your own and see what comes up, because after the first ones you think, oh, the obvious ones. So we'll do one more just for everything else that's on our hearts that we did not mention. We give thanks. Thank you. All right, please go down. So now in that spirit of collective liturgy, collective service, we have a time of joys and sorrows, which is an opportunity to share what is on our hearts, in our families, in our communities, and in the wider world. What we'll do, it's been a while, because things keep changing as we've been outside. I'm going to drop a stone in our common bowl to represent the joys and sorrows in our hearts. And this, it always seems like a tumultuous week sometimes, but this has been a tumultuous week. So the political is personal, so you're welcome to share all I would ask is if we keep them brief. If you'd like to give a sermon, the worship committee can train you and we can get you up here another. But just let's say what's on your heart by all means, but we'll just give as many people as we can in the space a chance to share. Good morning, I'm back. On behalf of our country, our society, I know none of us need another reminder that we live in an unfair and a dangerous society, but we received another one with the trial, and just prayers for all of us, but especially our young people, and especially those who bear an unfair burden in today's political and legal system in our racist country and institutions, and that we may find a way to true peace and true justice and equality, and find better systems of being together and safer ways of living together in peace. So with that prayer. And we have one more that represents many of us here and many of us here in the wider sphere, and I know we're carrying a lot collectively and personally as we approach the season of gratitude and the season of family and friends, and maybe we can't be with our family and friends for various reasons. We just know that we are together on this journey, even as we may not know each other's story or each other's situation, that we are together in the circle of compassion. And so whatever concerns or joys or sorrows are on your heart this hour, know that they are shared in the sanctity and the specialness of our coming together this hour, and we hold you in the light. So we're going to have a meditative song to round off our joys and sorrows. It's hymn number 123, Spirit of Life, which we'll sing. We'll have a time now of collective silence and personal reflection and prayer as we tend to our own hearts and the heart of our togetherness. would, O great mystery, we would have a thankful heart, a never-quenched fire for the good, and a love for all beings, for all our family. Whatever there is out there in the world and in there in ourselves that would bring us towards those goals, may they be brought to life this hour and evermore. We would be a people of a thankful heart, a thirst for the good, and a love for all our family. We now have a reading by Marcia Luton, who is a writer out in Washington State and a Unitarian Universalist, and I've always loved this reading. It's from the book How We Are Called, a meditation anthology, and it's called Instructions.
Where you live now, you will rouse from each night's darkness when the delivery arrives. Then, as the eastern sky pinks up like a newborn, the birds will fill the air with song. In a world of sound and light and precious breath, you will open the package. Your task is to use its contents. No day's box is like another, nor is any person's. Usually, but not always, you will find everything you need. Often there will be more than you need, and discovering ways to use it will be a trial and a delight. Comparing your box with another's will give you both pleasure and pain. Desire is a condition of your life, and you will often want what you do not have. Sometimes you can trade. You will be tempted to steal. You will protect yourself from theft. You will try to save one day's leftovers for another day. Sometimes you will succeed. Other times you will see what you did not use swept into a great heap of waste, gone forever, and you will feel regret at the loss. Your fellows, and you yourself, will judge what you do with the contents of your box. These judgments will sometimes bring satisfaction, sometimes dismay, and you will wrestle with them continually. You ask me what to do? I remain silent. In darkness, I fill the boxes, and in light, you open them.
Well, each of us got our day's package, our day's box today opened up. We're here, we're grateful to be here, and we're committed to share what we have, and so in that tradition we will have our offering here in a moment. And here at Unitarian Universalist Congregation of the Catskills, we share our offering as well. Our half-plate donations for this month will go to Worker Justice Center of New York, which pursues justice for those denied human rights with a focus on agricultural and low-wage workers. You can give online through UU Catskills /donate, or you can text 833-643-0430 with a pledge donation, or you can send a check to the congregation. Thank you for all you do to share what you have with one another. It means a lot. And we have a song in honor of Thanksgiving, a wonderful song by Constance.
Only last night, I learned that Bob Franke was supposed to bring chili, a pot of chili, to his Thanksgiving gathering. And he didn't make the chili. So he wrote, and this is a nice song, but I hope other people coming to that gathering brought what they were supposed to. Anyway, he wrote this song instead of bringing the chili. So. It's so easy to dream of the days gone by. It's a hard thing to think of the times to come. But the grace to accept every moment as a gift is a gift that is given to some. What can you do with your days but work and hope? Let your dreams bind your work to your play. What can you do with each moment of your life but love till you've loved it away? Love till you've loved it away. There are sorrows enough for the whole world's end. There are no guarantees but the grave. And the lives that we live and the time we have spent are a treasure too precious to save. What can you do with your days but work and hope? Let your dreams bind your work to your play. What can you do with each moment of your life but love till you've loved it away? Love till you've loved it away. As it was, so it is, as it is, shall it be, and it shall be while lips that kiss have breath. Many waters indeed only nurture love's seed, and its flower overshadows the power of death. What can you do with your days but work and hope? Let your dreams bind your work to your play. What can you do with each moment of your life but love till you've loved it away? Love till you've loved it away.
Gratitude. Gratitude seems like a pretty good idea, right? I mean, we're all agreed, I think, that gratitude is a good thing. Study after study has shown that gratitude increases our mental and physical well-being. It helps prevent heart disease. Grateful people live longer, report being happier. We all want to be grateful, to be glad to be here, but how do we get there, right? This Thursday, we'll all gather around, some of us on our own, some of us extended family and friends, perhaps difficult gatherings of family and friends, and we'll share various food, tofurkey, turkey, whatever it is, and we'll try and be grateful, because that's the whole idea of Thanksgiving, right? Of course, we know it's also commemoration of a terrible military victory over an unjust victory over the Native Americans. But still, there's this core of the heart of Thanksgiving that seems like a good idea, right? To be grateful. So we try to be grateful. What does it mean? There's a very simple table blessing in England that I believe comes from the Church of England, but it's many different people from many walks of life use it. It's only a line long. For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly grateful. For what we are about to receive, may the Lord make us truly grateful. And depending on my mood, I think that's really, really, really either really lovely or incredibly naff or cheesy. The naff or cheesy is when I'm feeling like, well, it's all very well to say that, isn't it? Yes, of course. But first of all, there's some problematic words. Even for the theist persuasion, Lord is kind of a problematic image of God for me. And even more problematic is perhaps make. What do you mean make us grateful? You know, I'm not up here to make you grateful as the preacher. I'll tell you that. You know, it's your own choice. You know, so there's this feeling of what does it mean? It also means this gratitude taking us away from the realities of the world. You know, mentioned the Rittenhouse verdict on all our hearts and the state of. Also, our hearts are with there was a shooting in the school there in Newburgh, and there's violence in our political system and in our community. And what does it mean to be grateful? It's all very well to say a few nice words around the dinner table. And if you're feeling like not being grateful, you have plenty of, feel free to do so. I take some solace in the Psalms, which a lot of people think the Psalms from the Jewish and Christian Bible, that the Psalms are these glorious, uplifting, beautiful, the kind of readings that are read from, sung by monks in cloisters. And there are beautiful Psalms. Many of you may know the 23rd Psalm, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want, she leads me beside the green pastures, leads me beside the still waters, she restores my soul. Beautiful, right? Elegant, uplifting. But a lot of the Psalms, which were written by various people over the centuries, a lot of the Psalms kind of take an authorial voice somewhere between Paul Giamatti and Joan Rivers. And I love that too. There's a sense of how long, God, how long must I be persecuted? Some of the Psalms are quite petty. They talk about our enemies in a way that isn't quite in line with the love your enemies thing. They're written by people, and they're written in that in-between of, I know I should be grateful. I know that I should give praise to whatever is that this life, but there's so much that's wrong, and I need to lift that up too. And I think I'm glad to be part of a tradition that's willing to do that. And even so, there's the lovely part of the prayer, right? For what we're about to receive, may the Lord make us truly grateful. And how lovely to have gratitude as a goal, right? When there's so much we could wish for, money, fame, a Lamborghini, to wish to be grateful. Isn't that such a sweet and wonderful wish? If you had 3 wishes with a genie, almost nobody says, well, I want to be grateful. And yet, maybe that might be the best wish, right? Forrest Church, who was a Unitarian Universalist minister, wrote a wonderful book called Love and Death, and he wrote it after a cancer diagnosis. And he knew his days were numbered, as all of ours are in some sense. He wrote that he had a simple credo of 3 little phrases. Be who you are, do what you can, and want what you have. And of course, we usually get it backwards. We want to get what we want. We want to get what these. But then Thanksgiving and other opportunities can be a chance to look back and say, actually, I've got so many blessings in my life, just as we did in that exercise. To count our blessings, to say, actually, this is a good life, and I'm grateful for it. And I don't think our life needs to be particularly perfect to do that. You've probably had this too, but I've certainly found that some of the people that have inspired me by their gratitude are people that on paper would be the least likely to say that their gratitude. And I always think of a woman, this is in New Jersey, who had had a rough life, abuse in her childhood, was struggling with addiction, partly because of that, was in recovery, had a bad health diagnosis, and said, you know, every time I put my feet on the floor in the morning, my boots on the ground, and I'm grateful. And she meant it. She was. And sometimes when you go through all of that, you get to that point of gratitude. How do we get to that point? I don't know. I know sometimes we can set the conditions for it, right? I know getting out in nature helps me. Being around people helps me too. I do feel that. For some of you, it may be getting away from people, and that's okay. And there are these exercises, like we did earlier, the gratitude list, counting our blessings. It sounds simple, and it is simple, but it can be quite profound. And sometimes when I'm doing a list, when I get further in, I'm surprised by some of the things that I say later on. A friend and colleague of mine, Reverend Chip Rausch, said one of his major lists was the gratitude of not having a broken arm. Because he did have one for months, and then all of a sudden he didn't have one. And when you don't have a broken arm, you really recognize it, right? But many of us are grateful to not have it, and you don't realize it until you do. And then you realize when you're healed how good it is to have what you have. Make us truly grateful. I think there's a humanist perspective, a non-theist perspective on gratitude that I think brings it home even better, I think, in many ways. If we think about the scientific understanding of the universe, which is an evolving understanding, of course, but sort of the standard model, there's this great radiance or Big Bang, and then all these amazing giant fiery forms floating around the heavens, and they smash into each other and they collide, and there's energy and flow everywhere, and it happens for millions and millions and millions and millions of years. And then one of these great billiard balls is the earth, and it's lava and ocean, I don't remember what order. And then out of all this stuff, some of this stuff does this peculiar and weird and very tenuous thing and starts to live, as we call it in our terminology, and sort of moves around in these funny sort of ways and becomes amoeba and plankton and all these things. And then some of these funny things do an even funnier and stranger and even more tenuous and fragile thing called consciousness, right? And they start to even sort of think about what moving around, and all of that happens. And then all of these maple trees and squirrels and dolphins all coexist, not always easily, but coexist on this earth and depend on each other. And then human beings come along with lots of other species, and we're this really strange and fragile and tenuous and marvelous, peculiar, challenging species, right? And our ancestors are trying to survive in this world with just ingenuity and pluck and one another, and survive and face challenges from worrying about being kicked out of the cave to worrying about how to get out of jail. And if you think about the family stories just that we know about in any given Thanksgiving tale, just imagine the family stories that go back 1,000 generations, and the amount of ingenuity and pluck and sheer luck that goes into that. So if you think about all of that, right, from the swirling heavens to this evolving earth to humanity's tenuous existence on this earth, the odds against you being here are a gazillion, and that's a mathematical term, to 1. We should not be here. And yet we are. We're here. And we're here for a little while. We don't know what happens after that, or maybe you do. Let me know. But we're here, and it's amazing, right? It's staggering that we're here. The odds are millions to 1, and here we are for a little while. And we have a chance, as that reading said, to open the box of each day, to see the contents, and to do our best with what we have. What an incredible blessing that is. So maybe there are ways back to gratitude. And I'm not saying that gratitude needs to just be this pure, simplistic. It can coexist with grief. And grief takes many forms. One time I was driving back, this was again at the congregation in New Jersey, and I had this funny, funny moment of sort of grief. And I don't remember how it popped into my head, because we're coming back from, it might have been a board meeting or something. And I just thought, you know how these thoughts pop up? It was my commute, so I was not really, I was focused on the road, but and popped into my head, I thought, Bob, I'm probably never going to go night clubbing again. I was 30-something. Now, I think I've probably been in a nightclub once or twice, but I was basically right. Like, those days were past. And I was never a big nightclubber, but I was just thinking back to when I was 18 or 19, and I was feeling that grief to those days are gone. They are gone. That's not me anymore. And I was thinking back to the friends I've had, some of who I see again, some of whom I'll never see again. And so I felt this grief, and there was a part of me saying, well, that's ridiculous, that's silly, don't worry about that. And then I thought, just sit with it for a minute. So I sat with that grief, and I felt the sense of everything that had gone before, and that I wasn't going to be night clubbing anymore. And then at that same time welled in me this sense of gratitude. Everything that I had gotten to do, right? All of the people I had gotten to meet in my life, the incredible experiences I had gotten to experience, all the learnings I had along the way. And all of it felt so plentiful and rich with experience. And I had a moment then where I thought this phrase of that the universe doesn't owe me anything. I'm ahead in the universe. Everything, I've had such a good life. If my car were to go afield and hit a tree, and I didn't want that to happen, but if it did, I'd have no cause for complaint. Life has been this great thing, and I thought today's a bonus, and that's such a good feeling like I'm not owed anything else. In fact, I owe something to the universe. I owe something to justice. I owe something to, but today's a bonus. Like there's the odds against me being here are a gazillion to one. I'm here, and I'm going to appreciate it. So maybe that can help us, I don't know. I hope it might be helpful as we go to our Thanksgiving, wherever it is, at our homes, on Zoom, in person. And I know that Thanksgiving can be a challenging thing, but it is a special thing. For some, we look forward to it eagerly for weeks and weeks. For some, we kind of dread it. I don't know where you are, and it doesn't, it's all good. But it is special. And it's special if we get a chance to give thanks and to be thankful for one another, but also to give bread. There's something about eating together, right, that's really special. Meals create a special environment. We always remember meals around the special things in our life, whether it's holidays or what have you. And so I'll share one more story before I shut up about gratitude, because that's enough about gratitude, isn't it? But I think gratitude can sometimes take us by surprise, and sometimes I think that's the best kind of gratitude. And I think one of the things I think about that today's a bonus is that we're all undeserving poor. Now, I need to unpack that phrase a bit. Undeserving poor comes from, well, among other things, there's Dorothy Day, who was a Catholic and an anarchist, and worked with the Worker Justice, where we shared our offering on New York City. Some of you may know Dorothy Day, and was an amazing person, and worked for the poor tirelessly for years and years and years, and lobbied for change and made a big difference. And she wrote that the gospel takes away our right forever to discriminate between the deserving and the undeserving poor. I'm not going to talk too much about the gospel, but I would agree with her that Jesus' message and the way he did his ministry wiped away this idea of, do you deserve it? Which we so often talk about the poor, right? Do you deserve it? Do you deserve anything good? So-and-so, it's all right if they're meek and they say, yes, please, can I have some more? But if there's something wrong with them, or they take a wrong step, then they don't deserve it. And Dorothy Day says, our right has been taken away forever to discriminate between the deserving and the undeserving poor. And I was thinking about how sort of I can be that. Like I say, the odds against our being here are a gazillion to one, right? So I think we're all the undeserving poor in some sense, and I don't mean to conflate my experience with the experience of generational poverty, which is a lot different. But I had an impromptu Thanksgiving meal. This was in England, but I think it was in November or December. And I was locking up the church where I was in Warrington, and this couple came in. And I was like, I need to go. I was ready to go. But they talked, and they had this long story. They were a lovely, lovely couple. And but this was the first time I had met them. And they told me they were immigrants, as I was, to England. And they were working in a warehouse, which was pretty good pay, but it was off and on. And they told me about their struggles. And so I really connected with them after I was thinking, I need to lock up the church and go home. I'm feeling tired. And on their way out, they put money in there was a collection donation box, and they put too much money in there. And I told them, don't do that. You need it for yourself. But they insisted, which became a pattern over the next few years as it happened. But that's another story. And they were asking about joining the congregation, and we were talking about membership, about widening the welcome. And I thought, if English is not their first language, how's it going to go? And all of that kind of stuff. Turns out I was all my assumptions and worries were wrong. But anyway, they left, and I thought about sharing. I thought, oh, I should have shared something. You know, we didn't share a meal. I didn't offer them a cup of tea, and I felt so kind of bad about that. And I was heading out, and I was feeling kind of just tired and cranky, and the light was low. It was November, December. It was already dark, and it was 4 something, I think. And I was walking when I was greeted by someone, and I was so grateful that someone knew, you know, I just felt like perked up by that somebody knew my name, and they said hello, and it was somebody, well, one person who often stayed at the night shelter, and their friend who didn't like to stay at the night shelter often stayed on the street as it happened. And so we had a little chat, and we just sort of talked, and they said hello and asked how we're doing. And I thought this is such a nice moment to be recognized, to be seen on here, and I feel uplifted by this. And technically, I'm supposed to be the minister uplifting other people, but I feel that. And then this couple who had already put all this money in the donation box come here, and they're carrying a box full of, I don't know what it was, kind of like Little Debbie snacks, whatever the English equivalent is of that. And they said, well, we just went to the store and we got these, and we've just been handing them out. And so they gave them. And my first thought was, well, I'm not homeless. I don't need, you know, they're giving them out to the homeless. That is so sweet. That's incredible. I should say no. But then I thought, well, this is kind of, if I may use a religious term, this is communion. And I'm the undeserving poor, and I'm hungry. So we all had these, whatever these little wrapped snacks are there on the streets of Warrington, and we shared a meal, and we were all felt very much that we were united in this moment, and it was a moment of the closest thing I came to Thanksgiving probably that year. So whatever you are given in your life in the day's box today, I'm not saying you should be grateful. I'm not trying to make you grateful, but I hope that some feeling enters your heart that gives you cheer and gives you nourishment for the journey ahead. We have a lot of journey to do as a people, as individually and collectively, and I hope that we can do it with this sense of awe and wonder and wow and gratitude that we're here at all. It's amazing that we're here at all. The least we can do is be kind to one another, break bread together, and share what we have, and make a better world together. May it be so. Amen. So our closing song is based on an Irish blessing that you may know. May the road rise with you. You may not know the tune. Catherine's going to play it once, and then the words are in your order of service there with the waterfall. And then we'll sing it through twice, once with his and once with her, or you can sing her both times. closing words by the mystic and poet Janis-Joplin. I mean, if you got a cat for one day, man, I don't mean, if you say maybe you want a cat for 365 days, right? You ain't got them for 365 days. You got them for one day, man. Well, I'll tell you, that one day, man, better be your life. Because, you know, you can say, oh, man, you can cry about the other 364, man, but you're going to lose that one day, man. And that's all you got. You got to call that love, man. That's what it is, man. If you got it today, you don't wear it tomorrow, man, because you don't need it. Because as a matter of fact, as we discovered on the train, tomorrow never happens, man. It's all the same day. It's a good day today. It's a good day to have each other. It's a good day to be together in love and in justice-making, meaning-making, and peace. Let's be grateful for what we have. Want what we have, and be grateful. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Now we extinguish the chalice with our words from our order of service. We extinguish this chalice, but not the light of truth, the warmth of